Hi, everybody. Welcome to our info session today on the Creative Innovation Studio's Recovery Cohort. We're just going to give another minute or two for people to join because I see people popping in and audio connecting. If you've never been on a Zoom webinar before, which in less and less likely in our day and age, but still happens, you'll be able to interact through the Q&A panel, where you can put in questions and upvote, and we'll pull in any sort of queries from there. You should also, I think, be able to raise a hand, but I would suggest saving that for the end. We don't have a long presentation to get through today. While we just wait for everyone to be able to join and connect, just to intro you to folks who are here. So my name is Sarah Shelson, and I am the operations manager for the Creative Innovation Studio. We also have representatives here from each of our incubator programs. Maybe if you are comfortable, if you could introduce yourselves one by one, maybe starting with you, Amelia.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Amelia King, and I oversee the Transmedia Zone. So excited to see you all today, although I can't actually see you.
Vishal?
Hey everyone, my name is Vishal and I'm the interim lead at the Design Fabrication Zone. Glad to see you guys here.
Linda?
Hi everyone, I'm Linda and I'm the Startup Experience Coordinator with the Fashion Zone.
And Cormac?
Hi everyone, sorry I'm not on video right now. My name's Cormac and I'm the coordinator for the Music Den.
Okay, so we're going to get started. I believe you should be seeing my presentation now, and I have support who will jump in if you can't. So we're talking about the Recovery Cohort today, which is our brand new Incubator Accelerator program that we've just launched as the Creative Innovation Studio and through the 4 zones that we have. But first, just to intro you, if you don't know who we are as the Creative Innovation Studio, and why this program is exciting and why you should be part of it, and why we're the best folks to deliver it. The Creative Innovation Studio has existed for about a year now. We're part of Ryerson University's Faculty of Communication and Design, and what we're all about is making the future. So we want to connect emerging and established makers, artists, technologists, entrepreneurs, researchers, and academics in a collaborative community devoted to creative exploration, cross-disciplinary innovation, and creative excellence. Our 3 of our principles are to foster and help folks develop an entrepreneurial mindset, whether you're running a business, which is very obvious, or if you are a creator, entrepreneurial mindset is important for whatever you're doing. Creativity in the world, because creativity isn't just for creators, it's something that's applicable for everyone. It's listed by the World Economic Forum as one of the most important skills to have in this day and age. And then lastly, 21st century skills, which includes creativity, but also includes collaboration, also includes innovation, and as well as a bunch of other things. So the reason that you're probably all here today is because of our 4 zones. These incubators have existed for over 5 years now, and have a long track record of delivering impactful, innovative programming. To intro you to a bit about each one of them, the Transmedia Zone is focused on innovation in entertainment media and storytelling. Music Den is focused on innovation in the music industry. Fashion Zone is innovation in fashion and tech, as well as retail. And then the Design Fabrication Zone is focused on innovation, both in fabrication techniques and best practices in design. And the reason this is important is when you join the Recovery Cohort, you will be joining one of these incubator programs. This is our slide to brag a bit about us, but that's because you know, we do have a history, a track record, and what we hope to do is bring all these successes that we've had with the almost 400 startups and projects that we've collectively incubated to help you grow and develop your businesses and projects. So why the Recovery Cohort? The reason that we feel that this is important and timely, to the point that we are actually stopping our usual application process and intake for the zones and just focusing on the cohort, is because we're in a crisis. You know, not just the pandemic, which has brought its own level of economic impact and challenges from television productions to live concerts to shared maker spaces, the way in which we shop, in which we consume, in which we create has drastically changed. So we really think that it's important to put our efforts and support in pushing forward innovations that can that are timely and can support this new world and situation that we're in. And then beyond just the pandemic side of things, we're also experiencing other crises that have been stagnant for too long and are taking attention, rightly so. And so not only do we have to reconsider production processes and pipelines and the relationship between brands and their audiences, and it's important that we need to think about sustainability and our environment. It's important that we think about how we work and how can we as entrepreneurs, as creators, as students, be more sustainable for ourselves and for our long-term health. How do we make a pointed effort to support marginalized voices in a way that we are building that from the start, as opposed to just a passing nod at it later on. So this is why, in this kind of poignant moment in history, we want to take this opportunity not just to rebuild, but also to reimagine and fix what's been broken in our industries in the past. So the program itself, it's a 14-week virtual program that supports Canadian early to mid-stage businesses and projects doing recovery work in the creative industries. Some of these supports include a unique roadmap to set your milestones and attain goals. We'll be keeping you accountable, helping you evaluate those and stay on track. We'll have unique community events that are designed to foster a supportive online peer network. One of the biggest benefits of being part of an incubator in a co-working space is the people around you, which we're in a virtual environment that's more difficult to do. And so we want to be intentional and help you build those connections. We'll be providing timely and responsive speakers and workshops on creative entrepreneurship topics and industry-specific topics. So we don't want to, there's no point pretending that the world is the same now as it was 8 months ago. So when we talk about financing, when we talk about pitching, when we talk about marketing, it's all within the framework of the situation as it is now. We have a robust advisor network that you'll get access to be able to meet with. We'll be providing industry, media, and marketing exposure. We'll have innovation, adaptability, ethics, inclusivity, and sustainability built into the fabric of everything that we're presenting. And then once your incubation period is done, you'll be provided with a certificate of completion, which will have its own perks in the industries. We're actively working on building this out, which will include free memberships to some organizations, which will include discounts, that sort of thing. So you might be wondering, what is recovery? So how we define it, and this is kind of what we're looking for and hoping to support, are with these 6 ways. So one is creating and are utilizing new production pipelines and distribution channels. So this might mean that you've had to pivot from brick and mortar stores to selling online and reaching consumers directly that way. You might have to be creating content in a virtual remote way versus in person. Concerts have pivoted, and are you providing a music experience that is live and online, or socially distanced? 2, responding to physical distancing challenges. So this might be technology to ease the burden of shopping in person. This might be redesigning spaces in such a way to center that human experience and provide an environment that makes sense for you to move through. Using and are facilitating ethical design. So thinking about the impact of what you're doing right from the start, and building in such a way that you're causing more good than harm. For example, if you're doing something digitally, how are you right from the start designing it to protect people's privacy? Implementing practices in accordance to the principles of social justice. So using your creative work to uplift and fight for social justice. Incorporating and supporting communities that have been marginalized in the creative industries. So is your business or project led by marginalized folks? Is the work that you're doing supporting? Do marginalized folks have a say and involvement in all the work that you're doing? And finally, operating with or facilitating sustainable practices. So is what you're creating, does it have a clean supply chain? Things like that. So we're running 2 programs, an incubator and an accelerator program. The difference between these 2 is really the types of support and resources that you're going to get in each one. So for the incubator, it's best suited for people who are developing, validating, and are prototyping. So we do want you to come in with a plan, with an MVP, but that might be something that is a script. It might be sketches and designs. It might be actual interactive prototype. So we're flexible on what MVP means. We just need you to be beyond, here's my idea that I just jotted down on a piece of paper. You also might be in the incubator if you are in market but aren't at the point where you have a lot of sales or any sales. That the programming that is in the incubator is focused on supporting that process. So taking you through steps to prototype and iterate on your MVP, get feedback through user testing, figure out how to finance it, test that financing model, test that business model. We're doing that through programming that's more structured than the accelerator. So there will be workshops and programming and advisor hours that you're expected to attend every week. And across the 4 zones, we're looking for up to 40 businesses or creative projects. For the accelerator, this is a much more focused push. So we're only taking 5 businesses who are looking to grow revenue and sales, which means that you need to be in market. You need to have some evidence of sales or equivalent if you can make that argument. We do know that in the creative industries, sales aren't always, that direct to consumer sort of thing. And the focus of this programming is to help you reach that next stage and accelerate and grow the revenue that you're bringing in. Part of that is that you'll be getting EIR hours with some folks that we're bringing in from outside our usual advisor network, who specifically have history and expertise in growth and sales in all 4 of our incubator, I guess, creative domains and disciplines. There, you'll have access to everything in the incubator, but also different networking and peer-to-peer opportunities as well. So the incubation journey. So this is kind of what it'll look like for the 14 weeks. So the first week, you'll meet with your startup services coordinator. They will help you create your personal roadmap to define your milestones for the next 4 months and figure out what resources you need to reach those. And you'll be meeting with this person every other week, not only to keep you accountable, but to evaluate your goals and do they make sense, and how have you pivoted, and did you enact some of these advice that you've been getting. You'll also meet your fellow cohort members. As we mentioned, this is part of the most important part, is working alongside and growing with folks at your similar stage. The following weeks will feature programming that involves workshops, fireside chats, presentations on entrepreneurship and innovation that are interactive and timely, public showcases for select teams to discuss your work with media, with industry, hopefully, peer-to-peer support and networking, EIR/advisor network hours, remote technical support and advisory, particularly for folks in the incubator who are building and creating. And then at the end of the program, as we mentioned, that certificate of completion, an industry networking/showcase opportunity, and the opportunity to continue as a regular zone member. Who are we looking for? So I hope we've been able to sell you on the program and why we're excited about it. So we're looking for content makers, technology, retail platforms, experiential innovation, space design, artificial intelligence, audience engager, fashion products and accessories, music publishing, robotics, and more. The creative industries goes beyond just the making creative works, but applying that creativity in other realms as well. So if you fit in usually with one of our incubators, you are a fit for the recovery cohort in terms of the discipline and the industry that you're working in. We're looking for anyone from across Canada who has the drive and passion to build their business, challenge themselves, test and pivot, and see their milestones through to completion. So our application deadline for the fall cohort is August 21st. So that's, I believe, 2 or 3 weeks away. Some tips as you go through. So one, always feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions, either to the studio or to individual zones. We're here, we want you to succeed. We're happy to help. Be as clear and precise as you can. So when you're thinking about who's your target audience, who's your target customer, it's not everyone, it's who is actually going to want to interact and use what you're making. Think through, if you think that you can make an argument for a reason that you know, your sales count or that you fit this, like, please do. We're open to hearing from you, and don't feel like there are these constraint boxes being put around you. And then finally, when you're looking at describing how you're doing recovery, we do want you to have put thought, but it's not like we need you to be doing all 5 recoveries. If you're only doing 1, that's perfectly fine. Just help us connect to the reason, to how you're doing that work and why what you're doing is compelling. So that is our email, and that is our website if you want to find out more about the cohort, or if you want to follow up after the session with any sorts of questions. Again, you can also reach out directly to the zones as well. So now I'm going to open it up for questions. And I think I might need to stop sharing my screen to do that. Q&A, actually I don't. So our first question that I see here, if you apply to this accelerator but don't make it, will you automatically be considered for the incubator, or do you have to apply for both? So that's a really good question. So the answer is no. You will be, we'll be taking thought into your fit, whether you're submitting to the incubator or accelerator. We might follow up if we have some questions in terms of your eligibility or fit between one or the other, but you don't need to apply for both. We will take, if you don't make it into the accelerator, into consideration for the incubator, or if we think that you're way too far for the incubator, we'll have a discussion with you about whether the accelerator is a fit. Anything else? What is MVP? So MVP stands for minimum viable product. So essentially what we're looking for is what is the minimum level that conveys the vision of what it is that you're making, or that you can start testing and getting feedback on. So that's going to look different depending on what it is that you are making. It could be, so this is the more creative end of things. For example, if you are making a board game, this might be a paper version that walks you through what those mechanics are going to be. Or if it's a media sort of thing, it might be a script. If it's a product, it might be a designs or sketches or plans. Or you might be at the level where it's an actual product that you've put together that you can interact with, but isn't a complete product. You're still testing it and iterating it on it and designing and building it. I thought I had one more thought. It also might be a wireframe if you're building a platform for a website or a plan. Basically anything that's going to convey your vision. Anyone have anything else to add to that in terms of panelists and MVP? Cool. Other questions?
Sarah, there's a question in the chat.
Yeah. There we go. In order to see the applications, you have to input. So, and notice that the application is done with Google Forms. In order to see all the questions, you have to input the answers for the initial questions. Is it possible to see the questions all at once before submitting? Usually on this type of application, it's good to see the whole picture of questions and organize the answers accordingly. So yes, we will, we got this request via email too. We're working on just taking photos of the application and providing that so you can take a look before going through. So great suggestion, thank you. Linda, I think this is for you, about does the fashion zone help with finding a retail space?
Hi, Martha. Oh, sorry. No, just fashion zone help with finding a retail space. I don't, can you hear me? I don't think we would provide direct support in finding a retail space, but we may provide you in the right direction to help you uncover that on your own, but we wouldn't do that as a service on your behalf. Does that answer your question? And would anybody else have anything to add from the other zones on that question?
No, I don't think so. I think that that's true for a lot of our support is we'll help where we can in terms of giving you guidance about where to look or who to maybe speak with, but we don't have, we're not gonna make the calls for you, or we don't have retail space just available sitting around. can you provide more info on what you're looking for in the video pitch? Yes, so this is one thing that we're adjusting to make clearer, because we realized that it wasn't framed the best way in the application. So what we're really looking for there, as opposed to a pitch on your video, and forgive me for looking at my phone, I'm just pulling up some of the wording that we're going to be adding to discuss about it. What we want to do is get to know who you are, because we're not bringing people into be able to have an in-person pitch. This is our chance to find out about you. So we want you to talk about yourself, about your team, and your interests. Sell us, I guess, on you as a person, because part of what we try and judge is coachability and culture fit, I guess. So does that answer your question, or would you like more info? Let us know. I'm not seeing any other questions. I'll maybe give us another minute or two in case people are typing. Maybe that's right. So we're not looking for you to pitch your pitch deck in a video format, because we already have that info. What we really do is we want to see you, not your slide deck. Maybe I'll use this opportunity to go one by one through our zones, just to, if you can provide some context of what you as a zone might be looking for specifically, because I know disciplines are a little different. So Amelia, maybe I'll start with you.
Sure, for the video pitch?
Not necessarily for video pitch, for I guess types of projects and companies.
Definitely. So we're looking for storytellers that are pushing boundaries, and for us that means a whole bunch of different things. So maybe you are expressing or looking at a very interesting new way of producing content. You're exploring new production pipelines. So that could be a thing, right? With the era of social distancing, how are you producing what you're producing? Maybe you are a creator from a background that has been marginalized, like a person of color or a woman, and you are creating a web series, I don't know, that shares a really distinctive point of view. That would be something we would be very interested in. Maybe you're creating a really cool podcast that's exploring some sort of issue that's been neglected. Maybe you're creating a really great app that helps people manage their production during this crazy time. I don't know. So anyways, a whole bunch of different things. You might be experimenting with new technology, VR, AR, MR, whatever it is, but it has something to do with storytelling, and you are working on it because you're excited and you are helping to reimagine what the future of the creative industries could look like with the thing that it is that you're doing.
Vishal.
Yep. Can you hear me? Yes. So for the design fabrication zone, I guess we're essentially looking for projects that are focused on rebuilding the creative innovation, the creative industries, part of which is the product and design industries, which have been one of the majorly hit and majorly been affected since COVID and everything that's happening around. So for us, we're looking at projects that are involved in reimagining what this new future and what this new normal is going to look like. For DFZ, that can be reconsidering or reimagining the human experience in interior environments, whether it's home, retail, hospitality spaces, creators or entrepreneurs who are working on products that are connecting humans through VR, integrated haptic experiences, reimagining the UXs of aviation, imagining automated contactless technologies, transportation, or even services. there's also been a lot of disruption in manufacturing supplies. So thinking about what would new pipelines and products look like that are focused on local manufacturing, and all of this, sorry, to add to that, even not just on businesses or product businesses, but even looking at installations or art installations that provide immersive experiences while also maintaining physical distancing. And the goal is to look at all these solutions and all these technologies from a lens of ethical design, sustainability, and inclusion. I hope that clarifies it.
And Linda?
Hi. Yeah, so for the fashion zone, fashion has been hit particularly hard by COVID. I know a lot of industries have, but as we look to rebuild, let's rebuild with care and rebuild with ethical and sustainable practices in mind. So I think any businesses that really drive that forward would be key. And also in light of recovering well, let's recover in mind too. So I think it's really important to include marginalized groups. I think that's key. And a lot of businesses have been hit hard. So being able to meet your customers in a new way. So coming online, for example, is key. And diversifying supply chains. So reshoring, onshoring, anything that you can help shorten supply chains would be great. Clean beauty, I could go on, there's a lot. So you can feel free to reach out to me if you have any specific questions about your project or company.
And Cormac from Music Den had to hop off, but if you have any Music Den related questions, you can reach out to him specifically at cormac.mcgee@ryerson.ca. I haven't seen any other questions pop up during that time. So I think we'll wrap up for this session then. Thank you everyone for joining us. We're really, really excited to see what you're making and running, and we hope to see your applications. And now we're gonna have the awkward moment where I need to figure out how to end this. There we go, stop share.